Hello and welcome once again to the Nottingham Hockey Centre and to the home of the famous Beeston Hockey Club. With the end of the normal England Hockey League now only a few short weeks away, the fixtures all have added interest, and today is no exception as Beeston, lying third in the table, face visitors Hampstead and Westminster, who are looking good for a place in the top two as they go head to head with Surbiton. Beeston will be buoyed that East Grinstead dropped points in a draw yesterday and so still are below the Bees, but it's getting tight up there. Something from today's game which gets underway here at 2 o'clock, would be a great result for the Beeston lads. But with Hampstead and Westminster hosting Surbiton next week, the visitors today will want to keep the heat firmly on. Well, it's a cold and blusterous day here at Beeston, and only the brave have ventured over to the far terraces, with the majority of the fans preferring the relative warmth and undoubtedly more hospitable side, with access to coffee, alternative hydration opportunities and the local culinary speciality here, cheesy chips. A good winter warm-up, but the Beeston fans and team will be hoping for a result to warm them and cheer them as they battle for one of those top four places, which gets them into the all-important playoffs and a chance to regroup for one final push for the honours. Steve Musson and I are in the commentary box once again in the elegant splendour of the chapel, an early work of George Clark, famous nowadays for his TV show Amazing Spaces. This early work was designed by Clark based on the Sistine Chapel as a 4-year-old, and it's not a bad representation. We are grateful for the shelter and, of course, and the warmth, but we do sympathise with our cameraman Adam Milson, our intrepid cameraman he is today, who's up in the bell tower above us with somewhat less comfort and only the rising smoke from our kiln-dried log fire to warm him. Hang on in there, Adam.
Good afternoon, Nick. We just before we get underway with other things, we have a message today from the broadcast sponsor, World Class Players, which I'm just going to read through. World Class Players is a coaching organisation based at Nottingham Hockey Centre. We provide fun, engaging and challenging camps for juniors of all abilities. All our sessions are planned meticulously and constantly reworked in order to aid every individual's hockey development whilst maintaining an enjoyable environment. Our philosophy is centred around ensuring that every individual who attends our camps leaves as a better player. We aim to do this by ensuring all sessions are enjoyable, involve constant decision making, have activities that are game realistic and allow for players to be stretched both mentally and physically. We pride ourselves on having a high coach to player ratio, allowing players to have more individual contact time, especially on performance camps. World Class Players sessions use cutting-edge hockey equipment to provide constant variety within sessions and allow for player enjoyment. The ultimate aim of these camps is to identify and nurture future world-class hockey players. All our coaches are either highly qualified through the England hockey system or current high-level players competing at national level for Beeston Hockey Club. The website is www.worldclass.hockey.
Be nice to be young again, Steve, wouldn't it?
It would.
Now, let's look back on some highlights of the game that took place just a short week ago.
Now we're back to BeeTV for the men's match between Beeston and East Grinstead. Two sides looking to cement their hold on playoff positions.
Yeah, Simon Faulkner's flicking is very powerful. Often low, but powerful.
And Hodgman got a glove on it, but can't keep it out. And East Grinstead have the lead that their possession in the game to date just about deserves. And it's their captain, Simon Faulkner, who gives them the lead. Let's watch the corner again here, Steve.
Very good injection. Not hugely high, but it was rising and angling its way away from Simon Hodgman.
It's Hibble who takes it on.
Very good corner.
And it's
very good corner.
Hibble who scores. Well, what a response that is from the home boys here. Just what the doctor ordered.
He's carried on where he left off before his injury.
This is not an easy skill.
Excellent, excellent flick.
Deflection off Hodgman. Faulkner again.
He's done it low and hard into the corner, and that's more of a trait of his corner flicking.
That is his trademark, isn't it? But what a talisman he's proving to be here for his team. Let's watch it again. I thought Hutchwin was a little further to his own right this time.
Yes.
And Faulkner all along the
speed.
car.
I think we'd mentioned it a second or two before that corner was awarded, and it was the pace of the passing that I think. Ooh. Oh,
what!
There we go. What a response again!
Unbelievable stuff. Well, it was. I think initially it was a fantastic save from Paddy Smith, who is nothing if not spectacular in the goal. But the follow-up has seen the ball bundled into the back of the net, and bundled it most certainly was. Let's watch it again here. Great perseverance initially.
It's hit the bar and come back out, doesn't it? Save bar and
yes. Sevenoaks starting to look somewhat detached down at the bottom, but those points for Exeter today, or University of Exeter, start to suck Wimbledon back into the mix.
Yes. Sevenoaks playing Wimbledon today as well.
Well, that's a massive game. Oh! It's forced over the line, and East Grinstead have got the lead again. Beeston are complaining about some infringement they think they've seen in the circle. I don't think there's very much point in the umpire referring with his colleague on this one. Let's watch it again. Well, it's a real tangle.
Just what we're talking about. That
High ball again, takes it on.
Well,
I think a deflection, and it was a player down at the top of the circle, but the goal is going to stand.
Yes.
And Beeston have got out of jail again. Did this one take a big deflection, Steve? Or
I think it did take a deflection. I'm just trying to see how the player got injured, whether it came off. Oh, I think it was a follow through with the stick that's hit the player.
Instant pass out to this left-hand side.
Angle's very wrong there.
Very wrong. Yeah, and that's what happens when you hurry things.
Yeah. And there we go.
That might be enough. That is enough. And Beeston have been beaten here on their home turf by East Grinstead, who pick up 3 vital points.
When you succeed,
we succeed.
So we listen.
We tailor. And we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver resorts.
and world-class service.
We are always developing,
learning and growing,
and getting better at what we do.
Supporting your business.
We make technology effortless.
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve
And advise you.
all to help you achieve.
and surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
and team players. And together,
We're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
You're number one for IT and comms.
I played at the highest level for Holland since I was 17. First you start as a talented little girl and just go and play, and now you really have to carry the team. A lot of the media, they always write things about you, but it's not important. I know what I can do, and the people that I really care about, they always believed in me. And I've always been a fighter. Even when you think you can't go anymore, you just keep on going because of your team. My position in the field is important, but without the others, I'm no one. Speed is very important. There isn't room for error, actually. It's just me, opponents, and my teammates. You have to give it your all, no mercy. Every competition we play, you just want to win. When you step on the podium, it's just the best feeling in the world. It is hard to dare and dream about winning, but we know if we play well, we can beat anyone.
Don't adjust your sets. We have had a hailstorm in the last few minutes while you were watching the highlights of last week, which now looks blissfully warm looking back on it. Those points lost by Beeston last week, Steve, looked expensive in the final analysis.
I think so. I think this push that Beeston are wanting for the third spot were affected by that. But as you mentioned earlier, Nick, the idea has improved a little bit because obviously East Grinstead Reading's result yesterday was a bit of a help to keeping them in third place. This will be a tough fixture for them today, weather permitting, and they've got to be ready to go on this one because Hampstead are in some good form at the moment.
Yes, the way it shakes down in the final analysis, the team that finishes top of the normal league season takes on the team who finish in fourth place. At the moment, Beeston are looking glued on to third, but it's not the most settled of situations. Still some important fixtures to come for all the teams. Surbiton and Hampstead meeting next week, for example, and Beeston still need to travel to both Reading and Sevenoaks, and their final home fixture will be against the Wimbledon Wombles. So the two sides over there, looks like we're going to try and get away on time. We wouldn't have thought so if you had our cameras up a couple of moments ago when the hail was lashing down, but I think the weather's unlikely to improve in the course of the afternoon as the snow experienced up north just drifts down. So Hampstead Westminster without Harry Martin today, who's taken up a position on the bench, working as an assistant coach, an assistant to Quan Brown, of course, the talismanic coach of Hampstead and Westminster these days. It's a sad loss for Hampstead Westminster. Harry would have been a useful addition to their team, and of course a former member of the Beeston club, where he made quite a name for himself.
He certainly did. Yes, he was here 3 or 4 seasons before he moved down south. A valued member of the club at that time, and it's nice to see him back here. A couple of injuries for Beeston as well. We've still got Mark Gleghorn missing with his problem with his hip. And in actual fact, the other one's an illness. Carl Marsh has been taken ill this week, and so he's not playing today. So this part of the season often features players missing for one reason or another. And I think it'll still be a very good contest, this. I'm interested to see how Beeston set about this, bearing in mind they've not played to the best of their ability over the last couple of weeks, but they'll be certainly up for this one.
So the two umpires stripped off, bringing the teams out onto the pitch. That's Dan Barstow to the left of our picture there, and his colleague today, Nick Bennett. So we wish the two umpires the very best of fortunes as well. The two teams won't want to hang around, and indeed Hampstead already walking along the line, shaking hands. I'll apologise in advance. The Hampstead shirts are very smart, but they're certainly not designed for commentary with the right-hand number. Very hard to distinguish. Perhaps they should stack the numbers one on top of the other rather than having them side by side. I have seen worse shirts, I just don't remember when. So there they are. You'll see the problem looking down. Very, very nicely designed, but not desperately practical.
Busy, I think they're called, aren't they?
Busy. No, actually, I do like the design, but if you put the numbers one on top of the other on the white panel, it would work perfectly well. You got to think outside the box sometimes.
Yes.
So it's rather a bleak scene, I'm afraid, here, but we are in winter still when all's said and done. And we've had no real winter in this part of the world to speak of yet. There's the Beeston huddle. Simon Hutchwin there. Coming across with a shopping trolley behind him. And Beeston need a big performance today. So disappointed not to take something from the game. They're a little bit unfortunate. If you're watching the highlights immediately before this game, you'll have seen they had a corner ruled out in somewhat controversial, perplexing circumstances. But a chance today. I think Beeston would probably see a draw today as a good result.
I think they would. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats for Hampstead. I mean, not only are they the second highest goal scorers, but their goals against tally is substantially below anybody else at 16. That's quite remarkable at this part of the season. So they're very difficult to break down. I think a lot of that is to do with the way that Quan Brown choreographs the play, and it's been a great season for them from that point of view. So defensively strong, and of course they've got the goal scorers from corners, Matt Guys-Brown with his 13.
12 corners and one penalty stroke.
Yeah, and Rupert Shipperley, who's as we were mentioning the other week, a predator of a striker who does very well.
Yes, he's chipped in with 7 as well. So there is goal threat contained within the Hampstead team. Well, almost ready to go here. Don't think the players will be too sorry to get underway. Back to halves. If you've been following hockey on the television recently, you might well have been more used to the 4 quarters. We're back to halves again today. Adam Dixon there in the centre of the Beeston midfield. Didn't really impose himself on the game as much last week as one might have expected, but it's not easy for these internationals coming back into the club environment to suddenly just to take over where they left off. (2-1) when these two sides met earlier in the season in favour of Hampstead and Westminster, as Quan Brown brings the ball forward. Plays a lovely ball out to the left-hand side as well, but nicely read by Beeston. Brown, instant pass out to that left-hand side.
It's going to be a feature of Beeston's game today, the need to retain possession. 2 quick turnovers already, and that's something they're going to have to make sure is limited.
This is Cargo. Irish international, of course, Chris Cargo. Quan Brown. Hard to think of anything that hasn't been said about Quan Brown over the years. His appetite for the game shows no signs of abating. A real Pied Piper of a player. Infectious personality.
The youngster in defence.
Good to see the youth policy coming through, but indoors or out, Quan always plays with the smile on the face, which is so nice to see. And a very demanding coach he's become as well. Whistle's already gone. Simon Hudgwin there, not called into action. Chris Cargo making a nuisance of himself, popping up there in the centre forward spot.
As Quan Brown brings this confidence to the team that allows them to push forward. They're often with two guys at the back and very high half-backs, and that creates a lot of options for them getting forward. Very difficult to actually deal with that, and he's very capable of changing the system whilst playing because of the way that he plays, and he certainly made a big difference to the way Hampstead's games are nowadays.
Beeston moving the ball around at pace and with intelligence as well. Quan Brown in on a challenge and is penalised for it. Little over eagerness there, going in on Joe Sharp. Sutcliffe got that all wrong.
Some of Beeston's better games have been when the chips are down, really, when they've had to play against the top sides. Surbiton was an obvious example. It's leading that to that natural energy that they feel they have to add to these sorts of games.
Well, there's certainly a big game for both sides. Surbiton had a big win yesterday, and Hampstead will be aware that they need to get all 3 points today to match them at the top of the table, and then we'll look to get the better of them next week when the action moves to the Paddington Rec. Brown. It's worked out to this right hand side. Good early ball in. Half chance here. Shot comes in and it's parried away from goal.
Very decent save from
good
Simon
save.
Hudgwan.
That'll make Hudgwan feel very positive about his form early in the match. Hampstead players taking a knock there. This is Brown's ball in, searching ball, deflected out to the right hand side. Good fast hands there by the goalkeeper, instant strike. So back live, misguided pass. Almost April conditions. We've had strong winds, which I think is pretty much going to be a constant. We've had the hail and now the sun breaking through.
All the seasons.
All the seasons in one. Long shadows being cast here.
Watching the Hampstead game last week against Holcombe, their ability to get shots off very quickly in the D is something again that Beeston are going to have to take care of, and we've already seen one example
great
there.
Example, yes. Gleeson. Beeston obviously missing Gleghorn from the penalty corners, but also an open play as well. And young Kyle Marshall had a good game last week. Sorry to hear that he's not well. We wish them both a speedy recovery, the two Ulstermen there.
Going to need to keep Elliot Heibel available for corners today. I think it was a bit of a problem last week when we ended up with a barrage of short corners at the end and he sat on the bench. So yes. I think that's something they're going to have to take care of, make sure they've got the appropriate short corner flickers on. I
was in Rotterdam for the Pro League, FIH Pro League game this week with the Netherlands. They had 4 corners in quick succession, and sitting on the bench, Mink van der Veerde. A little bit frustrating. And no one was more frustrated than Van der Veerde.
Part of the coach's duties to keep a good eye on the way the game's progressing, what may happen.
Exactly so.
Phases of the game, that sort of thing.
Good early ball forward for Beeston here. This is Park. Just leaves the ball behind in his slipstream. Dixon.
Beeston nicely competitive at the minute, passing the ball around well.
Well, although Beeston have not been able to live with the pace set by Surbiton and Hampstead and Westminster in the league consistently throughout the season, they're still a dangerous opponent, and Hampstead will be well aware of that and will pay them plenty of respect, I'm sure. Ollie Willars. Again, good early ball forward from Beeston. Back door firmly closed. Free hit just a metre or so outside that Hampstead Westminster circle.
Trying to win a corner, the first corner of the game there, but it didn't quite come off. Hampstead defended well.
A good pace here from Hampstead Westminster down the left-hand side. Shepherded there by Ollie Willars. Kept a very close eye on things. Beeston looking to get the ball to the other end of the pitch very quickly, and very successfully done too. Good brisk pace about the game, as you'd expect on such a day as this. No one wants to hang around. Reverse stick cross harmlessly across the face of the goal and out of play.
I think the feeding the ball forward for Beeston has been quite a good feature. We've talked about this before, but it's retaining it higher up the pitch, and it's going to make a difference for them today. They need to keep as much possession as they can in the higher parts of the pitch, and as you see, if they get that wrong, the counter-attacks could be a bit painful for them. Good work from Elliot Hybel.
Sideline ball here. Sutcliffe to take it. James Sutcliffe just waiting for the pass to be... I think we're waiting for the umpire to have a word on the far side, in fact. Now he gets on with it. What are your feelings about the playoffs, Steve? Good thing, bad thing?
I quite like the playoffs, yeah. I think it's a very competitive part of the season.
Keeps the season going, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And of course, throughout the league, you've got that fight of certainly the top half, and even deeper into the league than that, of clubs that want to get to that level. We saw with the Ladies' League yesterday, Buckingham, their win here against Beeston Ladies put them into the top 4.
Yep. That was a tight affair.
It was.
Beeston with a shot on the turn, and saved by the goalkeeper. Good effort that. Gareth Griffiths, I think it was, who got the shot away.
There's good energy about things, but that's the sort of thing they have to take care with. That first pass must be a connection and not a turnover.
Toby Reynolds Cottrell in the Hampstead and Westminster goal. Did well there to drop quickly down to his right hand side. So both sides have had a sighter. Both sides have drawn good quality saves from their opponent's goalkeeper.
Of course, the Quan Brown aerials are quite useful as well, pinpoint accurate, and of course his players will expect those from him.
Yes, in truth I've seen more of Quan indoors than I have out over the years, but he's obviously a very useful player, great reader of the game. Real crowd pleaser. Oh, a miss there. So it'll be a long corner for Beeston, wide out on that attacking right hand side. Ball took a real hop off the turf. Fired in with pace. Keeper's gone down. This time the umpire ruled in favour of the defence.
Off Henry Croft's foot, I think there. It was.
There's a good pick up there under pressure, and the pressure was just the wrong side of the line as far as the umpire was concerned. Taken quickly. Wasn't the best angle for the pass, and the defence getting a stick on it, deflecting it away for a long corner again. Brown, mistrap from him, that's something of a collector's item. Doesn't miss many of those. That's a little more pace on it than he was expecting. That will be a free hit for the Bees.
Well, picking up on any Hampstead errors, that's something that Beeston can look to do as well. That situation can lead to good counter-attacks.
More hardy souls out there on the far side than I was expecting to see, Steve. I must say
Yes, yeah,
they're
doing
going to
well.
take a real buffeting out there. They really are heroes to a man.
Big vice president's lunch here today, so there's
they won't be feeling the pain
so
then.
they're all walking off the roast beef or whatever it was they had.
Great to see the gathering of the great and the good of Beeston and Nottingham hockey.
There's a great bunch of vice presidents here, and they're very supportive of all that the club does.
Wonderful ideas while keeping people involved in the game.
Little moment there that I thought was interesting. Elliot Hybels in good possession of the ball in the D. I think he could have little bit more power in his play there, and he might have won a corner.
Yes, he's been one of Beeston's standout players this season. So 12.5 minutes gone. Still no goals to show. Plenty of attacking intent being shown by both camps here. No one's sitting on the draw or parking the bus in any way. I suspect we're going to get another dose of something, sleet or hail or snow even, before too long. Or miss clearance there, and Hampstead on it in a flash.
Little delay from Ollie Willars, and his pass was straight to the Hampstead forward.
Misguided pass, misdirected pass into the circle there.
I think the conditions will affect the players a little bit. It's cold, and the wind, it makes communication difficult, so there's probably in games like this a few more errors than you'd normally see.
We always use our flags and flag posts over on the far side as a litmus test of how strong the wind is here, and I can tell you today, very strong.
It is.
They are absolutely being ripped away from the flag posts, and the posts themselves are blowing backwards and forwards.
What did the other clubs know yesterday with them all playing on the Saturday?
Yes, there were somewhat easier conditions yesterday.
This
Ladies' Day here at Beeston yesterday, of course, with the girls in action against Buckingham.
Yes, Buckingham coached by Zach Jones, a former Beeston coach here, and
I'd forgotten that. Yes, of course. Yes, very well-respected coach now, of course, with Wales, but also in schools down in my part of the world, in Oxfordshire. They produce some very good sides. Very demanding coach. Beeston just been pegged back in the last couple of minutes as Hampstead and Westminster see a little bit more of the ball. Beeston working it out of defence though now.
Hampstead pressing very well. Each time a player receives the ball, you can see somebody's close to that receiving player and making life difficult. They've pinched it 2 or 3 times off the receiving player.
There's young Toby Stanley on the left-hand side, wears the 33 shirt for Beeston. Getting a run out today. You can see that hail sweeping in. It's behind Beeston at the moment. Hampstead will be looking straight into it. Won't be too comfortable.
Difficult for the umpires as well. I can see them struggling a bit to see.
I would imagine they've had a chat about it, or how bad it would have to be to bring the players off. The pitch turned to white at one point, and obviously when you're playing with a white ball, that becomes something of an issue. I don't think it'll be much. The Sun again are already trying to break through. April showers and early March.
Hampstead shape's quite predictable at the moment. They've got the same setup with the two defenders, which one is Quan Brown, obviously, trying to get the half-backs high, but they're not afraid to push the ball through between midfielders to create that middle of the park play. Beeston just need to make sure that their energy levels stay high so that they're marking well, covering spaces.
Adam Dixon not seeing much of the ball at the moment. I'm sure Beeston would like to get Adam more into the play. He's not a player who would allow himself to be absent from the action for too long.
The space is on in this game for Beeston. They can, as long as the passing quality is good, there's plenty of room. Adam Dixon in space in the middle of the park there, just not used there.
Patience just breaking down for a moment there. Beeston with a rather wild pass out of defence, handing possession back to Hampstead and Westminster. Brown is dispossessed. Now, good early ball can find Brown out of position here. Chance for Beeston to run at that Hampstead circle. Brown is back goal side and just about in the nick of time.
Yeah, decent counter-attack, a little bit of finesse at the end just to make the last connection. Yes,
very well contested ball there, and it's a penalty corner for the Bees here. And Hampstead in the face there of Dan Barstow. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, nice and positive.
Saw the Beeston player going to ground there, and he was lent upon by his opponent there. Dan Barstow, one of the best umpires in England. Right on the spot there.
Fellow traveller with you this week, wasn't he, Nick?
He wasn't actually, no. Oh. He was, I think he's doing some of the FIH Pro League games, but no, I was with Martin Madden from Scotland.
Oh, right.
And Bruce Bale from England, although Bruce is based in Ireland these days. They had a very good game, the two of them, I must say. As did the video umpire, who travelled all the way from Poland and didn't have one single decision to make, apart from whether he was going to have a glass of beer or a cup of coffee at the end of the match.
I think they feel that should be a re-award there for a foot from the #1 runner.
Dan Barstow just taking a bit of time to talk to his colleague here about what actually took place. Stephen Lawrence eavesdropping the conversation and no doubt adding his own tuppence worth. It's a long deliberation, and the decision is a re-award of the penalty corner.
The Hampstead #1 runner was extremely quick out there, so hopefully somebody on the Beeston coaching bench has noted that and may have a change of routine. Hampstead
continues debate here. I suppose when you come from Westminster, debates come as second nature. I hope it's a slightly more orderly debate than what they normally see from the ladies and gentlemen in our esteemed House of Commons. Quan Brown with the final inquiry. It's all taken a very long time.
Making sure you've all got the necessary kit on for this, for these defensive duties.
You're missing nothing. The clock has been stopped. So we're in the 20th minute of the game. Beeston 0, Hampstead Westminster 0. They need to practice getting this kit on quickly. If they found themselves in the Euro Hockey League, by now they'd have at least one player sent to the halfway line for time wasting. Out it comes. It's slipped. Chance on a reverse stick side and saved by the feet there of the goalkeeper.
It was unorthodox, but it created the shooting chance. But well covered by the keeper.
He's a big unit, Toby Reynolds Cottrell. He did well there. Got down and cut off the angles, but best chance perhaps so far for Beeston to open the scoring here on home turf. Fired in again. Not the requisite distance, so Hampstead can break. Quan Brown throws it rather hopefully forward, straight down the throat of a Beeston defender, immediately sets them rolling forward again. A good spell this from Beeston. Can they produce a goal from it?
It just shows you, doesn't it, if the energy and the pressure's right and the passing lines are good, you can create chances like this. Hampstead have had to drop quite deep to deal with this phase. And as you say, something needs to come out of this, and there's a corner again.
Unforced error there, and that tells me that Beeston's attacking play just starting to get under the skin of Hampstead Westminster. And Beeston starting to pose some problems here.
Nice flat cross from Joe Sharp. Must have taken a little bounce somewhere, but it's hit Quan Brown on the foot. But benefits of getting the ball into the D quickly and accurately.
So there's the Beeston personnel. Adam Dixon, number 14 there. Looks like he might fancy this one. Two Castles. Come for Dixon, whips in the shots.
Defending them well at the moment. A few signs as to why Hampstead have conceded so few goals really. They're quite organised.
Lovely take. Just shepherded down something of a blind alley there, but Beeston have the free hit. Just inside that 5 metre dotted line. That's lovely work into the circle. Is there going to be a finish here? Great skills there from Dixon. Really good close control, sucking players in, and in the end the penalty corner. Quick feet, quick hands, and most importantly of all, quick thinking there coming from Dixon. Well, just as Hampstead had a little purple patch a few moments ago, this is very much Beeston's time at the moment.
Find a way of dealing with the good goalkeeping and the number one runner. Maybe a slip here.
Shot whipped in, and this one's gone straight through. And Beeston have the lead. And it's Adam Dixon there, who was denied with the earlier save, but not this time.
The pressure tells.
Let's watch it again here, Steve. Hard and low. The keeper got down, didn't he? But he couldn't keep that one out.
Quite a wide flicking stance from Adam there. It kept the ball away from the number one runner, past his feet, and that led to the defensive problem.
That was a great finish from Dixon. Doesn't have the advantage of long levers that some of the game's top penalty corner strikers over the years have had, but he can generate power through his strength and dynamic movement on it.
Adds to his tally of Beeston goals. I think he's 122 now, I think he is.
Well, that's a pretty impressive stat, because he's about so much more than just goals, isn't he?
He is. Better involvement this week. As we've said before, Nick, it's difficult to get back in that first game.
Yep. Free hit just outside the Beeston circle, wide on this Hampstead Westminster right-hand side. They'll look to get straight back on terms if they can here.
They will. I was just thinking there's going to be a 5-minute patch now where they're going to have to be very careful defensively.
Brown just stepping forwards. Lovely transfer to the right hand side, ball drilled in, just looking for a little deflection, just a bit heavy perhaps with the touch there. Don't pull the pace off it. And Beeston pick up a loose pass and can move away towards halfway. Dixon, the goal scorer, just slowing things down, using all his experience.
So important to get this part of the game, having just scored right. Possession, accuracy, staying out of range of the forwards. And watching the ball, which didn't happen then.
Mistake by Hampstead Westminster. Beeston coming on the attack again. The whistle's gone.
I wonder if there was a pass. I think there was a pass there that Richard Lawrence could have made. I think he's tried a very awkward reverse stick shot there. It's going to be difficult to get that one away.
Well, Beeston have certainly made an impression on this Hampstead Westminster side here. They won't have come expecting an easy passage, and this is turning out to be a particularly difficult obstacle in their season at the moment. Brown.
It is quite reminiscent of the first game because that was very competitive. Not many goals.
But these are the games that you live for, aren't they? These are the ones
They
you
are.
remember, the hard-fought points.
Yeah, I think already this is an interesting fixture. There's both sides having a go at it. It's an interesting form of attack from both teams, and it's going to stay that way, I think, for the rest of the game.
Surbiton moved on to 38 points from 15 after yesterday's victory. Hampstead at the moment, with a game in hand, are 3 points back on 35. And with an inferior goal difference as well. Beeston then 10 points behind Hampstead and Westminster going into this game on 25, and then East Grinstead on 24, Holcombe on 22. Hampstead trying very hard to get back on terms here. Beeston having to work hard.
Good work from Robbie Gleeson.
And so far they've got their game heads firmly on. A good example of that there, just rolling the ball onto the retreating Hampstead foot. Dixon again. Such an asset to Beeston to have Dixon available for these fixtures at this important stage of the season. Player who's been there, done it, and got the t-shirts for club and country to prove it.
I think you just make the other players work that extra bit harder, stay a bit more focused, because Beeston are going to need to do that. If they don't keep that game head that you refer to they will find Hampstead getting back into the game. So a bit of leadership needed, I think, from Stephen Lawrence as a captain and Adam as the senior pro. Not that Stephen Lawrence isn't a senior pro, he's been around as long as anybody.
Good work again coming from Beeston here. If they can hang on to this lead, and who knows, even extend it before half time, it would add up to a very good half of hockey for them indeed, against a very skillful and determined opponent with plenty to prove themselves.
Yeah, because Hampstead will want to contest that game on an even keel against Surbiton next week, so they'll be wanting to get something out of this. They won't want this to be a slip-up.
No, indeed. I mean, if they weren't to get anything from today, even a win next week wouldn't be enough to see them go ahead of Surbiton because of that goal difference, unless it was an absolute avalanche of goals, which I just don't see. And maybe, just maybe, next week's game might be in the back of the minds of Hampstead and Westminster a little
Possibly.
bit. You can only play against the opponent that's in front of you at any one time, but it's very hard sometimes not to be thinking a little bit further ahead. Now Brown.
So in many ways, this could actually, in theory, be the one of the playoff fixtures, Beeston Hampstead.
Yes, it could easily be.
So
yes, it could easily be.
And I think Beeston, from Beeston's perspective, I think they probably would rather play Hampstead. They're tough fixtures anyway at that stage. So the motivation for Beeston is to keep hold of the third spot.
Yes, and over 70 minutes, anything can happen, as
yes.
opposed to the league programme, where, by and large, the league tells its story. The league doesn't lie. Good patient stuff from Beeston here, using the ball, not trying to pull up any trees, but just growing into their lead, and continue to cause some problems for Hampstead Westminster. So we're into the last 5 minutes now of this first half.
I think Hampstead have been slightly better than Beeston at winning back possession, but there's energy-wise, I think Beeston have got the edge on that at the moment. They're
yes, it's been an energetic performance, and
here we go again.
Here they go, straight down the middle this time, into the circle.
Oh, that was a shame. That looked like a good opportunity, really, but I think the ball just got ahead of Robbie Gleeson a bit. He couldn't get a clear shot off.
The waters just seemed to part there for a moment. Well, it's certainly end-to-end stuff, because here come Hampstead Westminster with space on the right-hand side.
This is dangerous.
A little look up, and the ball played into the circle. And again, it's Hampstead Westminster who are penalised. Just thinking, Steve, listening to you before the game about that world-class players coaching camps here at Beeston.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice to be young and starting out
absolutely
again?
Would.
Yes. Be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Plenty of people attending them, and they're great sessions, and a lot of former Beeston people involved in that, from a coaching point of view.
Lovely take and
Great
turn.
turn.
Dixon enjoying this one, I fancy. Just losing out there, though.
Rupert Shipley there on the...
Yes, he's been quite quiet so far, Shipley,
yes,
which surprises me. This is lovely approach play here.
Good work from Simon Hudgwan.
Beeston digging it away.
From a simple point of view, the two things that Beeston knew they were going to have to keep an eye on were obviously not giving away corners with Matt Guys-Brown's reputation, and making sure that they deny possession to Rupert Shipley, because that's where their goals have come from.
So they'll be quite happy, I think, if they can hang on to this lead. They're doing a bit more than hanging on, in fairness.
Yes.
They can maintain this lead through to half-time. It'll be a happy camp, I suspect, but they'll also be aware that they're playing at the moment with the strong breeze behind them, and from the elegant comfort of the chapel, we're not able to judge particularly accurately just how strong that wind is, apart from looking at the flags. But how much of an advantage that has given the Bees in the first half, only time will tell.
I think Stephen Wood, from Beeston's point of view, will be relatively happy with the way the things have gone, but he will want to see them retain a bit more possession for longer.
Quan Brown.
Very rarely gives the ball away.
He's available again on the left-hand side, but turning away from their player coach this time. Here he is, back in possession. So into the final minute of the first half. Our on-screen clock isn't absolutely synced with the match clock, so there may be a slight discrepancy, but it gives us a guide at least. Well, a little bit scrappy in the midfield there.
Good example of where not to turn the ball over. We're in the last minute. Hampstead looking to get back into the game. Beeston in possession. They have to do better than that.
Seconds continue to tick away here. Chris Cargo. I think the umpire's coming in with a card here. Possibly for playing the ball after the whistle. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
that's a card. And do you know what? That's a fair decision. Dan Barster's come a long way to give that that card, but he has given it. And I think it was for delaying the taking of the free hit. Just fiddling around aimlessly with the ball.
Yes.
Very frustrating for your opponent. Brown. So you see the clock's gone red at the top of the screen, and we're playing time added on now.
Beeston have worked hard to mark the players in the D and make sure that nothing's finding its way easily to them. I suspect that'll get harder for them in the second half.
And that is half-time at blusterous Beeston. Despite the difficult conditions, a very skillful and very determined performance from both sides. But here at the Nottingham Hockey Centre at half-time, Beeston 1, Hampstead Westminster 0 is the scoreline. Adam Dixon, the goal scorer for the Bees from a penalty corner in the 23rd minute. We'll be back with all of the second half action, and we hope that you'll join us again back here for that soon, when the action moves to the Paddington Rec. Brown. It's worked out to this right-hand side. Good early ball in. Half chance here. Shot comes in and it's parried away.
Win here against Beeston Ladies put them into the top 4.
Yep. That was a tight affair.
It was.
Beeston with a shot on the turn and saved by the goalkeeper. Good effort that. Gareth Griffiths, I think it was, who got the shot away. Down his back goal side and just about in the nick of time.
Yeah, decent counter-attack, a little bit of finesse at the end just to make the last connection. Yes,
very well contested ball there, and it's a penalty corner for the Bees. At least one player sent to the halfway line for time wasting. Out it comes, it's slipped. Chance on reverse stick side and saved by the feet there of the goalkeeper.
Unorthodox, but it...
Beeston. Can they produce a goal from it?
It just shows you, doesn't it, if the energy and the pressure's right and the passing lines are good, you can create chances like this. Hampstead have had to drop quite deep to deal with this phase. And as you say, something needs to come out of this, and there's a corner again.
Unforced error. Beeston. Can they produce a goal from it?
It just shows you, doesn't it, if the energy and the pressure's right and the passing lines are good, you can create chances like this. Hampstead have had to drop quite deep to deal with this phase. And as you say, something needs to come out of this, and there's a corner again.
Unforced there, but Beeston have the free hit. Just inside that 5-metre dotted line. That's lovely work. Into the circle. Is there going to be a finish here? Great skills
Skillful
there from Dixon at the moment.
Find a way of dealing with the good goalkeeping and the #1 runner. Maybe a slip here.
Shot whipped in, and this one's gone straight through. And Beeston have the lead, and it's Adam Dixon there who was denied.
When you succeed,
We succeed.
so we listen.
We tailor. And we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver results.
And world-class service.
We are always developing you.
Learning and growing.
And getting better at what we do.
Supporting your business.
We make technology effortless.
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve.
And advise you.
All to help you achieve.
And surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
And team players.
And together,
We're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
Your number one for IT and comms.
I played at the highest level for Holland since I was 17. First you start as a talented little girl and just go and play, and now you really have to carry the team. A lot of the media, they always write things about you, but it's not important. I know what I can do, and the people that I really care about, they always believed in me. And I've always been a fighter. Even when you think you can't go anymore, you just keep on going because of your team. My position in the field is important, but without the others, I'm a no one. Speed is very important. There isn't room for error, actually. It's just me, opponents, and my teammates. You have to give it your all, no mercy. Every competition we play, you just want to win. When you step on the podium, it's just the best feeling in the world. It is hard to dare and dream about winning, but we know if we play well, we can beat anyone.
Welcome back then to the Nottingham Hockey Centre. We've just had the window cleaners in. Strange that they should be working on a Sunday. But it continues to blow a hoolie here. But the players back out onto the turf, coinciding the arrival with an enormous black cloud that is looming large away to my right-hand side. The northern end of the ground here. Beeston will be playing into the teeth of that gale in the second half, but comforted by the fact they have a lead at half time. And as Steve and I were saying, an excellent first half of hockey sees Beeston leading by 1-0. Can we expect more of the same in the second half?
Well, I think that Beeston will certainly be encouraged by the number of times they're able to get into the D. Need a little bit more finesse in there and composure. But of course, Hampstead, as they were showing in the last 5 minutes before half time, won't want to see this stay this way for long. So there's going to be a lot of pressure from them, I think. Beeston done well not to give away corners. So defensively, that's a plus as well. So that's something they have to do in the second half as well.
Yeah, so anything other than a win today for Hampstead, they would see as a major upset, I think, and disappointment. But on the balance of that first half, Beeston, I think, probably did just shade it. But it's a long, long way to go. 35 minutes then, second half now back underway. And Quan Brown on the ball for Hampstead Westminster. And they'll be blown forward by this buffeting wind. Huge aerial.
It's carried by the jet stream, I think, that one. It's
Yes, you can see that hail coming down again here. I think I prefer snow to hail.
Yeah.
Hampstead Westminster wanting something and getting nothing here. They were quite quiet, I felt, in the first half in terms of their interface with the match officials. There wasn't too much to debate. There was the second taking of the penalty corner, which was the exception. But they need to give a little bit more and perhaps get in the faces of their opponents and on occasion maybe even the match officials in the second half. This is such an important game. Nicely brought down there by Brown.
Important phase now for both teams. This 5-minute spell now is going to dictate what happens, I think. And again, Hampstead looking for anything there, potential for a corner, that we want that. Beeston have got to be just as resolute in defence as they were in the first half.
Yes, it looks as if Hampstead Westminster have had the hairdryer treatment a little bit at half time. They've certainly come out and already showing more intent as the hail comes down even more intently. Difficult for the goalkeeper without driving into the helmet. Simon Hudgman doing the little jogging exercises on the spot there, trying to stay alert and focused. Made a very important early save, showing quick reflexes to deny Hampstead an early start in the game.
That will have worked well for Simon. He's he likes to get into the game in the early stage of it, really, and if things go well for him, it can signal quite a good performance. So I was pleased to see him make that save.
Yes, apologies if we pick up the odd mark on our camera lens.
Good space here.
Deflection, but it's still with Beeston. Trying to pull ball back onto the foot and successfully doing so as well. Just a metre or so inside the silk, but it's another penalty corner for Beeston, who scored from their last attempt.
Richard Lawrence was, I think he was trying to make a connecting pass there, but it's the unorthodox way he did it. The reverse stick part of or under his legs there has found Quan Brown's feet. So,
well, Quan is usually so good at guarding the feet, but not Quan's conditions today, you would have to say. Not anyone's normal conditions unless you know any hockey-playing Eskimos. It really is a little bleak.
I think when it's as cold as this, you've got to do as much as you can to keep some warmth, and the best way to do that is to run around. And I think Beeston doing that quite well at the moment.
Now what's the discussive point here?
A kit issue again.
Seems to be.
Oh, and the green card. It can't really be dissent for the award of the corner because that was pretty straightforward, I think.
It looked a nailed on corner, didn't it? But well, Hampstead Westminster a little out of sorts at the back. Chris Cargo chirping away to the umpire as well. Beeston won't mind if this one flies in. There's the shots.
That almost looked like it was the right connection, but I think that's gone behind the goal from Stephen Lawrence.
Good ploy, but on this occasion, no cigar. So Quan Brown, whose foot it was that led to the corner, be delighted that his team haven't conceded a second, which really would have given them a problem in the game, and not only just in the game, but in the table as well.
That's a quick restart from Hampstead. Troubling the Beeston defenders a bit, her backtracking and not particularly set well enough.
No way through there. I hope we're paying our cameraman danger money.
I was going to say the window cleaner's back again. Adam Dixon playing a little bit deeper. I think he's probably just got a bit of a thought in his mind that he wants to make sure defensively that Beeston aren't exposed. A bit disappointed. His body language showed he was disappointed with the passing there.
Brown breaks out of his 23-metre area. Has to go back. Always prefers to keep possession than playing a speculative pass, Quan Brown.
Yeah, high percentage player really gets a lot of things right. Good connection.
That's a loose one from Brown. Beeston just about keeping the ball in play over on that far side. Brown immediately has a player straight across and in his face. Lawrence eating up the yards again.
Yeah, they've done that well, Beeston. They've really particular on the pressing, and there's again another example. Players got away. Gareth Griffiths.
And Griffiths again. Early ball in, and it goes right the way through that Hampstead Westminster circle. Now to play on the far side, harmlessly. So having absorbed that early pressure from Hampstead from the restart, Beeston once again getting back on the front foot, giving as good as they're getting, and as you can see from the scoreline, they still have their noses ahead.
And they're going to have to keep doing that, Nick, because they're going to have to subdue the attacking abilities that we know Hampstead have.
Yes, indeed. The playing record of Hampstead this season that you alluded to early in the piece, Steve, is most impressive at both ends.
One loss,
very commercial.
Yeah, and as we said, only 16 goals conceded. That's quite a feat, really. Robbie Gleeson again.
Nice little
turn of pace through the middle.
Just opens up those wrists as well and gets the pass out now to the right hand side. Brown on the line, picks it up, feeds an early pass forward. Dixon just going fishing on the reverse stick side, almost got it on the end of his hook, not quite.
Good cover, really good cover. Stephen Lawrence has come a long way forward to make sure he was in position for that.
It's always difficult to compare performances match to match, but for my money, Steve, a much better performance so far from Beeston this week.
I agree.
Than we saw last against East Grinstead. But it will all count for nothing and be quickly forgotten in the final analysis if they can't take something from today's game. These two sides finished, or started rather, the game in second and third positions. If it was to stay like that, of course, the end of the season they would meet again in the playoffs. And from what we've seen over a match and just over a half now, it would be a very well contested game, and nobody would be placing any money with any great certainty on the outcome. Brown.
Beeston will still have a thought for the fact that they are not guaranteed a top 4 position unless they get another couple of wins out of their last few games.
No, and one today would go a very long way, wouldn't it? Particularly with East Grinstead dropping 2 points. I'm sure East Grinstead will see it as 2 points dropped yesterday, having come here last week and gone away with a maximum.
Yes.
Still a long way to go. We shouldn't get ahead of ourselves here. Dixon's ball in.
The angle of that, that was Ollie Willars with his slide pass towards the D, but it really wasn't directly at anybody, and I don't think the leads were strong enough for that, and it's just gone straight off the back. So again, that's sort of another way of just handing possession back to your opponent.
Well, that hail shower seems to have gone away, but I fear that rather like the Nottingham tram system, there'll be another one behind very shortly. The good thing is it hasn't really interrupted the play at any point or created too much of a difficulty for two very competitive sides down there. Have made light of the difficulties.
Good defence.
Beeston player going over the stick there, but it's given as a sideline ball. Dan Barstow looking down the line there. Was in perfect position. Cargo. Was a loose one from Chris Cargo. Dixon very nearly picked that one up and could have launched an attack from there. Dixon working very hard to get back.
Oh, that's very unlucky. I think that Adam feels that he's made a decent tackle there. Again, the work rate from the Beeston lads very good. Nearly got them possession in a dangerous part of the pitch.
Well, you made the comment early in the game, Steve, that Beeston sometimes save their best performances for the big games, and today is a big game.
Yes.
And this certainly must go down, from what I've seen in this season, as one of their better performances.
It's strange, isn't it, really? Certain games automatically motivate players. Although why that wouldn't happen against East Grinstead, I've no idea, because they're as good an opponent as anybody. But certainly it's worked a bit for Beeston so far today. Yeah, we're conscious there's only one goal in it, and that could change very quickly.
Beeston throwing it high.
Interesting decision from Dan. He's given that, feels that the forward was in position first for the aerial.
Very little comment from Hampstead about that, so it suggests to me he's probably got it right. Or they're given up complaining.
Yes, yeah.
I suspect the former. That's a loose one.
And it is the right interpretation, I think. It's not a given that the defender automatically has the right to that free hit in that position. Here we
Lovely
go,
take. All played into the circle, just wanted a deflection. And Reynolds Cottrell was scampering across goal there just in case that deflection had gone on target. It didn't.
Yeah, the crosses and feeds into the D that Beeston have given today have actually caused Hampstead some trouble. It's just a pity we've not been able to get on the end of anything cleanly yet.
I think Toby Reynolds Cottrell will be disappointed to have conceded that penalty corner goal to Adam Dixon, because the one earlier, which was almost a replica, he did
he saved
with some I won't say with ease, but with skill. Just done for pace, I think, the second time. Now, chance here for Hampstead. Again, Beeston have numbers back.
Another example of the aerial there. The forward led to it for the defender, so Dan allowed that to fall to the forward.
Juan Brown.
Just a little bit more energy needed there, I think, from, I think it was Elliot Hyber who tracked back. Ball was loose for a second or two longer, and I think he could have got onto that, but it's worked out all right so far.
Good pace about this Beeston attack down the left-hand side.
So important to get something from that.
Brown again, eyes only on the ball there, just whipping it away.
Stephen Lawrence attacking in the wrong direction. Bit of space here now.
Long corner. Again, Hampstead Westminster just trying to introduce a little bit of tempo into the game again, which seems to come and go with them a little bit.
It is interesting how these passages of play can change in favour of one team or the other, isn't it? It's
yes, I mean it has blown, literally blown hot and cold a little bit. First one team blowing hot, then the other. Beeston,
some good work from Chris Proctor there.
Very good, strong, wasn't he there? Now Brown, good early ball forward. Now a chance here is there for Hampstead Westminster down the left-hand side. Whistle's gone quite early there in that run, just inside the. Well, she's taken on the 23-metre line. Little slip, no harm done. Hampstead Westminster still in possession. It's well defended by Beeston. Adam Dixon there just directing things. But, his teammate not able to take advantage of the advice offered.
Hampstead looking at the quick restarts here to create some openings, try and loosen up this defence a bit.
Heavy collision there, and the umpire blows the whistle. Didn't perhaps need to have done, though. Beeston were in possession, but I think most defenders would take the free hit every time if it's on offer, particularly if they're in the lead, as Beeston are at the moment. Sideline ball. Robbie Gleeson goes to look for it.
Beeston's back four performing quite well. The passes have been accurate, but they'll be conscious that there's like this situation just cropped up. The presses are strong.
Good closing there from Kai Kepelar.
Toby Stanley just getting caught on the ball.
Cargo, good early
well
ball,
stepped
but
in.
nicely
Very
read.
well stepped in by
Very
Joe
well
Sharp.
read. Well, certainly Beeston are at it today. Good ball out to the
Well
left-hand
watched.
side. Good progress.
Nicely worked by Hampstead.
Con Brown brings the ball to the top of the circle for the restart. Always looking for the next pass. Sets off into that engine room. Bypass with the pass. Brown again, this time on the left hand side, fires it out. Well kept in there. hammered forward. Last touch of a... I thought it was off a Beeston stick, obviously not.
I think he just got under it a bit and it missed the Beeston stick and flew off the back, so another possible attack has broken down.
Hampstead immediately sitting back into a deep formation here. Beeston trying to get around the back. Very nearly finding the back door left ajar.
Quite a good contrast in tempo from Beeston at the moment. They're patient when they're on the ball and able to speed up when they've got a bit of an opportunity.
Sharp. Two Hampstead Westminster players there for company.
I think they're too far out to hold it in the corner for the next 14.
I don't think we'd have many viewers left.
If that was the case.
If that was the case, Steve. No, I think you're right.
Keep that work rate going and back into shape. It's going to be so important as the game moves towards the end that the Beeston energy stays there if they want to keep on to this lead.
Yes, there's going to be some defending done by Beeston, and it starts right up the field with the front line of Beeston trying to close down as soon as the likes of Quan Brown pick the ball up.
It's a hard task to keep the off the ball running standards high all the time, but so far so good.
Have Hampstead Westminster had a penalty corner in the game yet, Steve? I can't.
Not yet.
No, I don't think they have. Well, that's credit to Beeston's defence that they've denied one of the league's top scorers even a solitary penalty corner. I'll be very happy they can do that for the next, well, now 15 minutes or so.
Yes, I was going to say they'll be lucky to get away with the whole game without conceding a corner, but the fewer the better, really.
Ball cleverly played out of defence, nicely picked up as well.
If you can't make the tackle, it's important to shape the player and send him somewhere less dangerous, which I think Quentin Lemaire did quite well then. Hampstead just building another phase of play, I think. Be careful this isn't turned into a corner. I can see the intent on Hampstead's part at the moment.
Yes, this is where you need to really concentrate. Just a momentary lapse of concentration, all the good work can be undone. But not this time, because Beeston come away with the ball again, making good ground on that left-hand side. Turn back in field.
Chris Brox has done very well there to hold on to that. He just got a bit loose. His skills were good enough.
Important that Beeston manage the game from here.
That's right.
Managing the clock.
Now that could be a card. Yes, it is. It's a yellow.
And that's quite a blow for Hampstead Westminster here, losing a player to a yellow card. Adam Dixon making plenty of it. That's where the experience counts. And again, a further indication that Beeston's job on settling their opponent is very much going their way at the moment. Beeston using the full width, stretching the 10-man Hampstead team now as much as they can and maintaining possession.
There's no excuse for not holding that possession now. I think when you've got the extra man, they've got plenty of opportunities to make sure that each of these passes is good enough. And there's Ollie Willars slipping, just turned the ball over.
Well, I would imagine this performance from Beeston will be giving their coaching team of Stephen Wood, Mark Wadsley and James Played an immense pleasure today. This is Beeston at their best.
He'll be entering into
Lovely
that nervous
ball.
10. That's a great connection. Make something of this.
What's that come off?
Stick,
Nothing
I
at
think.
all. Well, the defender's stick. It would appear, the umpire there, that's Nick Bennett, right on the spot. Hardly mentioned the umpires, which is always a good sign, means they've had a good game, I think.
Too much controversy at all, I don't think. Nobody's complained about much at all.
Couple of little discussive points, nothing more than that. Brown with a lovely ball forward. Really whipped that pass in, didn't he? Beeston again with some defending to do here.
And he's capable of making that pass over big distances as well, so if there's a lead forward that he can connect with, he won't miss that chance.
Had a really good indoor season, of course, with his boys as well as Hampstead and Westminster forced their first penalty corner of the game. And it comes with the clock showing just short. Oh no, it's a long corner. I thought he'd given the...
No, it is a short, yes, that's right.
Oh, it is indeed a short corner, so fooled by the speed of our replay there. So good, these
yes, there's a technical team at the moment is on song.
We get the replay before the actual actions happen.
Yes, that's right. No wonder we're finding it difficult to commentate.
So now we are back live. Hampstead and Westminster have their first penalty corner of the game, and it's taken an hour to come. And credit to Beeston's well-organised defence for that.
Well, we knew it would come, and they have good form at this, so the Beeston defence are going to have to do very well here. Starts with the number 1 runner. Fearless defending and good vision for Simon Hudgman in goal.
Matt Guys-Brown tends to be their go-to man here. He scored 12 of these out of 13 in the season to date. Another one coming from the penalty spot. Out it comes.
Great injection.
In the groove. Shot comes in. Hudgman did well, but it'll be a retake here.
I think that's quite unfortunate there, because that was a very good save.
And Beeston going across and telling Dan Barstow just how unfortunate it is.
Yes, they are.
This is a replay of that last corner.
Well, I think Simon Hudgman feels that went down into the surface first, and maybe came off a Hampstead player. I don't know. They was not happy about something.
Anyway, the corner retake will stand here. Beeston have got to defend another one in quick succession here.
Pace of the injection is excellent from Hampstead. Contributes to them scoring. Here we go again.
Again, it's whipped out, and with Beeston players gone down
straight into the Beeston play. That's
a nasty one.
Stephen Lawrence. Yep, I'm not sure whether that's hit him in the face.
Well, the medic's quickly out to him. I'm sure our camera will wish to keep a discreet distance here, but let's hope nothing too serious. We might be able to pick it up on replay.
You can see the potency of Hampstead's short corner routine there. The injection extremely quick across to the furthest castle. And the angles are then opened up. But Stephen Lawrence has run a very good line there, and he's taken that.
He's
very
sitting
hard.
up, which is a good sign.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
It's hard to say where it did catch him.
Oh, hopefully it's not. No, I don't think it is in the face. So that's.
Well, he seems to be walking okay, and indeed running okay. And it'll be a restart with a free hit out to Beeston here.
Well, they will have been pleased to have defended 2 corners, but they do not want to give any more away.
No, I don't think you would want to give Guys-Brown too many opportunities. But no harm done. Certainly not in terms of the scoreboard at any rate. Whether Lawrence would wholly agree with that is another matter, but he seemed to be okay.
It's that phase of the game, Nick, where the minutes get longer for the
Isn't it just? Isn't it just?
For the defending team.
Adam Dixon, who's been in these sort of circumstances for club and country so often.
Shame Henry didn't pick that up, Henry Croft.
Almost an opportunity, wasn't it, there? And as Hampstead and Westminster go looking for something from the game, they may leave a few gaps at the back for Beeston to exploit. Brown tries to craft the one forward, it just bounces away.
This is a phase of the game where defenders look to forwards to take the responsibility by getting on the end of passes that are played forward quickly and making sure they don't turn it over and letting the defence be set all the time. Good example with Henry Croft there. I think he could have picked that up and kept onto the ball.
In the context of the current league position, this would be a massive 3 points for Beeston if they can get it. More problems here for Hampstead and Westminster, and another yellow card.
Another yellow card.
They really are making life very difficult for themselves.
Held on to the turning player there and stopped him getting towards the ball, which I don't think was going off the end of the pitch, which is why the umpires have given the yellow card.
Well, Beeston should take great credit from the fact that this Hampstead team really are unsettled today. I've not seen enough of Hampstead this season to say whether this is the best that they can offer, but Beeston have controlled the game for large parts. The scoreboard, a fair indication, but still far from a winning lead. But if they can see this out, it'll be a very good result indeed.
Good space here.
Ball back.
Now again, a bit of criticism then. That's a very good position to have the ball to win a corner, or at least make sure that you get a shot. And that was too easy by Beeston then.
Yep. You score that area the second goal. You got behind the defence into that area.
Yes.
And you were in the pound seats really. Beeston not taking full advantage there. But it's hard to be critical on a day like today. Their performance has been professional. Very well ordered. They've been focused on the task. They just need to make sure that focus stays with them now right the way through to the final whistle.
That's not needed. That's a bit unnecessary really.
Absolutely right. And here come Hampstead again. Who've far from giving this one up. Brown's got some running back to do here, and it's the sideline ball for Beeston as well.
Well, they are beginning to get to that stage of the game now where they need to control this and keep it in the Hampstead half. Adam Dixon quick onto the ball there to make sure he's in control of things.
This is where Hampstead, only having 10 players, will start to hurt them and their team's cause. At a crucial time of the game when they were looking to push on. Now here Beeston again, a chance here.
Didn't quite get hold of it, Chris Proctor. He scored a good goal against Holcombe in exactly the same situation a couple of weeks back, and but he's not got hold of that one.
We saw Proctor admonishing himself for not at least testing the goalkeeper there. Needs to get that one on target, but no one knows that better than him.
Space there for Hampstead. Good connections. And a very good tackle there. I think that was Stephen Lawrence who's returned, looking all right.
Yeah, no harm done. And he'll want to be in the thick of things in these closing minutes to see his team, hopefully from his point of view, across the line here to 3 very, very important points. I said early in the game that I thought Beeston would be happy with a point today. I suspect if they were to surrender this lead now, they'd be far from happy with the point.
They would. We've seen them do that a couple of times this season, and it'd be nice to close one out.
Well, they're the ones that really hurt you, aren't they? The ones where you think you're nailed on for a win and you concede late on.
Yes. They did it against Brooklands very late on, and again against Exeter. So
Bees with the ball exactly where they wanted at the moment, though, deep in Hampstead and Westminster territory. Brown, big job to do to lift his team here, the player coach of Hampstead and Westminster.
To the kicking back.
Powering their way through. Well, this is a real throw of the dice here. Just shows you how important getting something for today's game is.
Proper power play being undertaken by Hampstead here. They'll look for something, but those aerials they've been throwing today have pretty much all gone off the back of the pitch.
They have. Too much adrenaline, I suspect. I mean, Hampstead and Westminster will be well aware that a point today would mean that a victory next week over Surbiton would put them to the top of the table. But a loss today would mean that even a win next week wouldn't be enough to see them sitting right atop the group. There's still a couple of games to go, of course.
Chris Proctor's had a very good game today, I think, and
he has played well.
Pity he didn't hang on to the ball there, I think, but
it's always difficult to know how you should play against the kicking back. Whether you should promote a player very high indeed and force Hampstead to leaving at least somebody back on him.
But of course, having denied Hampstead anything throughout most of the game, they'll be keen to keep as many people back as they can. But this is what you want, the ball in possession, nothing risky here, just keep it. Too easy turnover.
About a minute and a half left on our clock. Maybe a little more than that, but can't be much. Fired away from the danger area by Beeston.
Somebody now needs to get on this ball and make sure they keep it. That's a great tackle.
Wonderful tackle there.
Robbie Gleeson, he just needs to keep the ball.
Had a good game, Gleeson. Covering back there by Hampstead Westminster, who are certainly giving it a go here, but not having a lot of success.
Quan Brown's on a mission now. He's going to try and set up something, and this is a perfect time to bring the ball away. That's
just pushing Hampstead Westminster back. You might have heard on the public address system that Adam Dixon has been named as the player of the match. I think there were one or two candidates in the Beeston colours today.
Certainly are, I think.
But the key thing for me, Steve, has been a great team performance.
Very much so. I think the work rate and the commitment to getting something out of this has been excellent.
Yeah, they've been really at it today, and on song, on message, all the other metaphors.
And there it is.
And there's the celebration that greets the final whistle. And it's the home team here, Beeston, who celebrate a very hard fought, very well-deserved victory in the end by just the single goal. They absorbed everything that Hampstead and Westminster could throw at them, and that's a result that really does dent Hampstead and Westminster's chances of finishing at the very top of the league. come the end of the normal league season. It keeps them very much on course for the playoffs, however, and really does reinforce Beeston's position in third place. So a thoroughly entertaining game, Steve. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Very much so. I did enjoy that, and I think that if Beeston can keep on to this third spot and end up playing Hampstead, that'll be a good result for them today as well. So take them into that playoff game, hopefully.
So just the one goal for us to enjoy today, scored by our man of the match, Adam Dixon, from a first half penalty corner. And so from Steve and I here and the rest of our team here at the Nottingham Hockey Centre, we're going to go back into the freezing cold and walk home again, I expect. Thank you for your support again this afternoon, and we'll be back on BeeTV and next week for more hockey action when the action moves to the Paddington Rec. Brown. It's worked out to this right hand side. Good early ball in. Half chance here, shot comes in and it's parried away down his back goal side and just about in the nick of time.
Yeah, decent counter-attack, a little bit of finesse at the end just to make the last connection. Yes,
very well contested ball there, and it's a penalty corner for the Bees here. At least one player sent to the halfway line for time wasting. Out it comes, it's slipped. Chance on the reverse stick side and saved by the feet there of the goalkeeper.
Unorthodox, but it created
there, but Beeston have the free hit just inside that 5 metre dotted line. That's lovely work into the circle. Is there going to be a finish here? Great skills there from Dixon at the moment.
Find a way of dealing with the good goalkeeping and the number one runner. Maybe a slip here.
Shot whipped in, and this one's gone straight through. And Beeston have the lead, and it's Adam Dixon there.
So if there's a lead forward that he can connect with, he won't miss that chance.
Had a really good indoor season, of course, with his boys as well as Hampstead and Westminster. 12 of these out of 13 in the season to date. Another one coming from the penalty spot. Out it comes.
Great injection.
In the groove. Shot comes in. Hutchman did well, but it'll be a retake here.
I think that's quite unfortunate there, because that's